Nearly a week ago, I did a video showcasing Vivzie's tweets regarding Beelzebub and the criticism of Helluva Season 1, Episode 8. Since then, she made a couple more. In these, Viv discussed some of the criticism she's received regarding Hazbin and helluva, along with teasing some upcoming songs in the shows. So to start things off, Viv confirmed that Helluva Boss is created for an adult audience. Basically, for context, a minor was complaining on Twitter that the show scares them and has adult themes, despite there being warnings before every episode that it's not suitable for children. After this, a random Twitter user said that Vivzie profits off minors. They got quote retweeted by a fan who said that Viv and Spittlehorse aren't going to baby their kid. If they're a moron who ignored content warnings, that's on them. Viv saw this exchange and said, "I love accounts like this because I've never seen someone embody Karen energy this hard for a cartoon before. Just stop watching." In a follow-up reply, she said, "My shows are adult 100% in content, language, and yes, humour. We are aware it has young adult appeal. Literally, why wouldn't it? It's full of edgy demons and it's gay AF. But it's not for kids. It's never been for kids, never will be. We have warnings, that's all we can do." A Twitter user replied that the show's humour consists of just penis jokes. They deleted their reply, but Viv responded saying, "I mean, it's fine if you don't think that's funny, you do you. But I love that you people see like 3 dick jokes in a series and are like, wow, this show is penis, laugh, lol. Like, get new material for the love of God, lol." Viv said that the reason she was responding more to criticism on Twitter is because, quote, "It's the last day of Pride Month, feeling some vibes, gonna get some mileage." Another user brought up the humour in the show. Viv replied with, "A lot of people take issue with X's and O's, and again, if you don't think it's funny, that's fair. But some people do. Like literally, my favourite joke in the episode is a sudden cut to Krum's evil stare, surrounded by the pistoning dildos. Humour is subjective, crazy I know." She followed up with, "X's and O's definitely has more than the average episode between the dildos and Chaz. But even then, there's really only a few highlighted jokes. The dicks existing on screen doesn't count, haha. Still, I get not liking it. That's entirely up to personal taste though, which is my point." So moving on to June 30th, fans are hyping up a potential trailer or announcement for Hazbin Hotel. Instead, we got a post from the Hazbin Hotel Twitter of Angel Dust and Charlie celebrating Pride Month. Many fans felt a bit let down because of this announcement. Twitter users pointed out that Viv and the team aren't in charge of marketing, so this is why the marketing team dropped the ball. It's probably A24 or some other company doing the teasers. Viv responded with a praying emoji to one comment. So Viv continued discussing the humour in X's and O's. In another reply, she said, "That was literally the punchline. The contrast of how dark the scene was, how we tried to hide the sounds and visuals until the sudden cut back to Krim. It was intentional. It's the hardest laugh in the episode for me, and it only hits because of how much it contrasts. That said, if you don't think it was funny, that's okay. But that was done on purpose. It was a joke and it worked for a lot of people, myself included." One Twitter user replies that Viv is saying that her stuff is good and people don't get it. Viv says, "LOL what?" The user replies again that Viv is combining people that criticise with the trolls. Viv says, "I've literally never said that. It's people like you that insist it's what I'm saying no matter how many times I try to acknowledge the validity of criticism. It's not saying everyone who doesn't like it doesn't get it. To point out some shit was intentional and subjective." Another user talked about character redesigns and how some people received hate for creating them. Viv said, "I don't like that people are getting hate just for redesigning. That's lame. But that also isn't anyone working on the show's fault. We didn't ask anyone to redesign these characters. It's a choice. No matter what reason they choose to do it, that isn't our business." The user says the team and Viv should ignore the redesigns. Viv says, "I think you underestimate the sheer amount of vitriol levied at the team and the show and how utterly hurtful it is. You can't just say, then just stay silent, when neither the design nor the hate is their fault. They are allowed to be frustrated at blatant rudeness, that's all." The user says that they haven't seen many people being rude. Viv says, "You really haven't seen it. Trust me, it's there in abundance." Again though, harassment shouldn't be happening on any end of the discussion, but an indirect comment of frustration is hardly doing any harm. The user says that they should ignore them. Viv says, "I mean, it's really not their responsibility to act like feelingless beings to uphold and police the comfort of fan artists, and saying things like they can express like and dictating appropriate language is very disconcerting. I'm just a little lost on what your goal is here." The user makes a blanket statement that all redesigns are done in good faith. Viv says, "The fan artists aren't at all a collective hive mind, doing it for the same reasons though. Some are being full on rude and mean. Your logic only applies to some, it's impossible to apply to everyone. The team hasn't called for fans to be harassed, just that it's uncool to be rude." A Twitter user says Stola Sings had a profound impact on them. Viv says, "Oh, just you wait," hinting at a new Stola song that's very sad. On July 1st, Viv did a tweet saying, "I feel like I make this kind of vague hype tweet every time I get a completed song back from the songwriters, but the songs coming up in the second half of Helluva Season 2 slap so hard in my opinion. I cannot wait until they're out in the world." In reply, she said, "I love all the music, but not all of it. I go back to listen to just because it's so contextual to the episode and best in full glory for me. But starting episode 7, I literally listened to the songs on repeat. Y'all in for some treats." One user replies that they can't wait to see Fizz sing again. Viv says, "He has some bangers." Twitter also wasn't working for most of the day because of a new rate limit change. Basically, this change made it so that if you don't pay for Twitter Blue, you can only view a certain amount of tweets on your timeline. Otherwise, the website becomes unusable. Viv tweeted saying, "Twitter is still working for me, but the way it's seeming, it'll finally be unusable soon. This really is my one place to see and support the fandom. Maybe I'll consider making a Discord. I won't interact much if I do, but I'd love a place people can still be seen." She did one more, but it's just her saying for mutuals to add her on Discord in case Twitter goes under. So basically from these tweets, Viv is saying that she might make a fan Discord server. Personally, I think this is a bad idea. My server has been under constant raids and it has around 13,000 members. If Viv makes one, it'll easily hit 50k plus and will be a war zone. I think posting announcements on the Helluva and Hazbin subreddits would be a better idea. So yeah, those are all of Viv's tweets. We got some teasers regarding upcoming songs, and we also got some clarification on why certain scenes were created in specific ways. Overall, I think Viv's threads were quite helpful. I've seen people say that Viv should take a break from Twitter, and I think that could be a good idea. Although these threads are done in good faith, they're commonly used against Viv to say that she can't take criticism. The next episode of Helluva Boss appears to be near completion, so taking a break until closer to its release might be a good idea. If you have any thoughts on the threads, let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching.